Niners fans, it's about that time. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Once again, it's a pleasure to be in front of the faithful, the Niner Empire. The best fans, y'all know it, in the NFL. And I got to give a quick shout out to my wifey. She gave me this new Faithful to the Bay 49er hat for Father's Day. Excellent gift. I love the hat. And of course, I had to get a Faithful to the Bay hat. I love that slogan that the 49ers have. How's everyone doing on a Sunday? And I appreciate you guys coming through and to talk about the red and gold, the 49ers. Y'all see it? And shout out to everyone watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. I appreciate everyone liking the stream, commenting, conversing with me. I appreciate it. Everyone watching on Jay in the Bay. This show, of course, is nothing. This show is nothing without the people who are in the comment section, the people who are watching as I speak. And let's first say what's up to the people in them comments. And the first person I see is Niner Faithful. What's good? How you doing, Niner Faithful? How you doing on this Sunday? Hopefully you're able to spend time with your fam. I appreciate you rocking with me right now. Niner Faithful also says, great hat. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I like it, man. I like the white and red. I don't own too many white hats, but yeah, I like it. I'm feeling it. Appreciate you, man. But today, Faithful, I wanted to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about the latest 49er news so far this week. And then we'll get into the top 5 49er players that have been lost in free agency this offseason. And I love to have people involved in the show. And, later on in the show, feel free to give your list of the top 5 49er players that have been lost in free agency this offseason. I really would appreciate it. And we'll definitely get back to that. But I think I have a few more comments. I got to say what's good to the people. So let's get back to these comments. Let's see. CG Ruthless, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, CG. How's your weekend going, man? And we also have Payo Time. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Payo Time. Now, for those, it's their first time watching Jay in the Bay. Of course, I always cater to the 49er fans, of course. But, I welcome all people to the stream, no matter if you like the Niners, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, or any other NFL team. As Payo Time says, I got to give credit to Payo Time. Payo Time says, this is a dysfunctional NFC West family. And that's why I welcome all teams, especially from the NFC West and all teams from the NFL to come through and hang out with your boy, Jay in the Bay. So my weekend's been good, Payo Time. How's your weekend going? And I appreciate you coming through. Tommy Huxley, what's good? On a Sunday, Tommy. CG Ruthless says his weekend was okay. He said you missed the fun on my stream. Yeah, I have to check that out. I was away from my computer when your stream was going on, so I got to check that out though for sure. Tommy Huxley says Payo and the Lamb Nation, and Payo got a kick out of that. Let's see. CG says, Payo, does next week sound good? We can collab soon. How can I communicate with you? And yeah, I would love to see a collab between CG Ruthless and Payo Time. I definitely want to watch that for sure. 49ers and Rams. Let's see. 49er Faithful says, he's doing great, Jay. I saw that Grant Cohen was talking on his YouTube channel that we can trade or cut Jimmy, then sign Justin or Melvin Ingram or trade for Gilmore. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting thought, right? Trading or cutting Jimmy G at this point. But I don't know how you guys feel, but this is obviously an ongoing topic in the offseason, the status of Jimmy G, but in my opinion, I've been saying this for a while. Jimmy G, I feel, will give us the best chance to win. And I totally understand. I totally understand that Trey Lance is the future franchise quarterback of the 49ers. I totally get that. But is he ready? I don't know about that. I don't know if he's ready. And let's allow Trey Lance to prove that he's ready. Let's not just give him the starting quarterback job. I don't see anything wrong in allowing Trey Lance to prove he's the better quarterback than Jimmy. If Trey Lance proves in training camp and in the preseason that he's the better quarterback, and Kyle Shanahan decides to go with Trey Lance as the week 1 starter, I'm all for it. But just allow Trey Lance to prove he can be better than Jimmy, because we know what we can get from Jimmy. We know Jimmy is a above average quarterback, when he's at his best. And, of course, when he's healthy, Trey Lance doesn't have any experience at the NFL level. Trey Lance, he looks real good throwing to, wide receivers with no defense. I definitely understand that. But let's see how Trey plays against a defense that's trying to attack him. That's what I want to see. But I definitely like your thinking, Niner Faithful and Grant Cohen. I think we do need to get Justin Houston, another proven edge rusher, a veteran. Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram, if you look at his stats last year, I don't even think he recorded a sack last year. Melvin Ingram did not. So, that could be a blip, not a trend. I don't know. But I'd rather have Justin Houston, who's an edge rusher. He's, with the Indianapolis Colts the last 2 years. He played every game. I believe he recorded about 16 or 18 sacks in those 2 seasons. So, and of course, Stephon Gilmore would definitely upgrade the secondary. And that's something I made a video about, us acquiring, the pros and cons of acquiring Stephon Gilmore. But let me know what you guys think, Faithful. Do you think, we should just give Trey Lance the starting QB job? Expectations are really high for the 49ers this season. This is not a rebuilding franchise. This is a franchise that I feel that could win now, that can go at least have a deep run in the playoffs. And, most rookie quarterbacks don't lead teams to playoffs and or Super Bowl run. Most of the time that just doesn't happen. So that's a great comment though, Niner Faithful. So let's continue on with the comments. Let's see. Pale Time says, it's been a good weekend. Did a bit of live stream. Live streaming is very fun. I definitely enjoy interacting with the people. So I love doing live streams, Pale. And I can't wait till we connect and we do a show of our own, man. I can't wait. Niner Faithful says, he also said he may maybe get Earl Thomas, but I think he's done. Yeah. Earl Thomas, he hasn't really played meaningful football in 2 years. And I believe he's about 32, 33. So, yeah, I think Earl Thomas is too far gone. Honestly, I'd rather have Richard Sherman come back and play safety probably than Earl Thomas. But, if they brought in Earl Thomas for a workout, that wouldn't hurt either. So, I agree, Tommy. That would be an excellent show with Peo and CG. Definitely looking forward to that. Let's see. Starscream Sub 026. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I'll see you when you come back, Tommy. No worries. Appreciate you coming to the stream, Queen B. Appreciate you. What's good? Thanks for coming through. Let's see. Pale Time says, yeah, saw some Trey Lance highlight. He can spin it well. And that's the thing, Trey can definitely throw the ball well, but we all know Faithful. We all know Payo. We know it's more to football than just, throwing the ball down the field and handing the ball off to the running back. It's a little bit more complicated than that. I'm sure we all know that. I just want to see Trey excel against a defense. Am I asking too much, Faithful? Am I asking too much that I want to see Trey do it at the NFL level? We know what Jimmy can do. We have no idea what Trey's going to do. We really don't. I'm more into staying with Jimmy because we know what he can do as opposed to going with the unknown, which is Trey Lance. So that's why I'm very excited for training camp when the pads come on. Very excited for preseason. Trey Lance should get a lot more time at quarterback in the preseason than Jimmy G. And I think that makes sense. I think we know what we're going to get from Jimmy. And most of the time, the starters, they don't play that much in the preseason. It's like literally, maybe two series, 2 to 4 series, and maybe the third game they play the first half. But that's why I'm so excited to see Trey Lance in preseason. And let's see what he can do. Faithful. Queen B says, y'all have a blessed upcoming weekend. You do the same. Let's see. Payo Time says, why do you think all these veterans are still available? Do you think they don't want to do mini camp? That could be a good reason, right? I'm sure that could be part of it, because the veterans, they really, if they take care of their body, they've been in the league for quite some time. They don't really need to go to a mini camp or training camp. They can learn to play, especially if you're playing like a defensive line. You're rushing the quarterback. Yeah, obviously you got to learn the playbook, and you got to learn, the defensive line. When whether they do a twist or whether they just bull rush or whatever, you got to learn that. But a lot of the veterans, they already know that. And also it could be money, Payo. It could be money. I'm sure they're going to try to hold out for as much money as they can get. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that there's still veterans on the market. Looks like CG has a answer for you, Payo Time. He says, Payo, I think some aren't signed because of age or injury concerns. That could be too. Like, for instance, me and CG have been talking about this. D.D. Westbrook, he's still out there. He's a wide receiver. He had a torn ACL last year. That could be a reason why he's, not signed. And like CG said, it could be, age or injuries. 49er Faithful says Verrett was trying to recruit Melvin on Twitter, but I'd rather have Houston because I don't think he's had a year with less than 8 sacks, so that would be great. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Melvin Ingram, I don't know what happened last year, but he didn't record a sack, so that could be a sign of things to come. Obviously, Melvin Ingram and Jason Verrett were on the same team with the San Diego Superchargers. But yeah, I agree with you. I'd rather have Justin Houston. But he's still out there on the market. I'm sure he's looking for, he's at the end of his career. He's looking for that last big payday. So, it might be a month or two, or it might be like a few weeks before the regular season before, Justin Houston gets signed. 49er Faithful says, Jay, did you hear about the throwback jerseys and helmets coming this season? Yep, I heard about that. And also we'll hear more news about that during the 49ers State of the Franchise. I believe that's June 30th. You have to watch on the 49ers app. Make sure you guys download that. And I believe it's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, I'm looking to see what combinations of jerseys the 49ers will wear this year. Also the helmets. So I'm definitely excited for that. But the 49ers latest news. So the 49ers had 4 players in the top 50 PFF rankings. And PFF stands for Pro Football Focus. They rank literally every player in the NFL on every play. It's a lot of advanced statistics and things like that. So PFF is definitely a good read. Make sure you guys check that out. I like Pro Football Focus PFF. And they ranked 4 players in the top 50. Well, actually, PFF ranked the top 50 players of the NFL, and there were 4 49er players. So as you see at the bottom of the ticker, Nick Bosa was ranked 27th, Trent Williams was ranked 24th, Fred Warner was ranked 20th, and George Kittle was ranked 9th. So I definitely agree. Those are most likely our 4 best players on the team, and I think they're definitely should be and are at the top of the list in that top 50. I'm trying to think if there's any other players who could probably crack the top 50 who's not on there. I mean, probably not. I don't think so. I mean, those are the best players we have on the team for sure. There's also some video floating around on YouTube. Trey Lance is working out with Debo and Mohamed Sanu in Southern California. That's definitely good to see. Trey Lance trying to develop a rapport with his receivers. I definitely like that. And a report from Matt Mayoko of the NBC Sports Bay Area. He spoke directly with Lance. And, Trey Lance said it's been awesome working out with his receivers. Trey Lance says that those guys are a special group of guys, and he feels very fortunate to be where he is. Those are special guys, so it's not hard to build chemistry. These are Trey Lance saying this. And that's definitely good to hear. Trey Lance has definitely been putting in the work in the off season, and I can't wait to see training camp. And let's continue on with these comments. Corey Davis, what's good? How you doing, Corey? How's your weekend going on a Sunday, man? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. 49ers first take, what's good? Thanks for tuning in the stream, man. How you doing? How's your weekend going? Let's see. Niner Faithful says, who do you want to be D Ford's replacement if he can't play this season? That's a great question, Niner Faithful. D Ford, my expectations of D Ford this year aren't much. I feel in a best case scenario, D Ford could be a third down edge rushing pass specialist. That's why I feel like he could bring to the 49ers in a best case scenario. Maybe he plays about, 15 to 20 snaps a game, if that. But I think John Lynch has definitely done an excellent job in replenishing the talent on the defensive line. The Niners picked up Samson Bucum from them good old LA Rams. I think Samson will definitely get a lot of snaps at the edge rushing position. And I believe that's why John Lynch signed Samson Bucum, because, the 49ers plan to use Samson at the edge rushing position. So I figure it would be, Samson, also Arden Key. And then on the other side, of course, you got Bosa. I'm not sure about Armstead. Armstead, he is listed as an edge rusher. And, obviously I feel like he'll play snaps at the edge rushing position and also inside. I like Armstead better inside next to Kinlaw and DJ Jones. But I think Armstead will definitely get some run at defensive end. That's for sure. But that's an excellent question. Wyatt Long says, any thoughts? First of all, what's good? Thanks for coming through, Wyatt. Wyatt says, any thoughts on Steelers, David DeCastro release? I was definitely surprised by that. DeCastro has been one of the better guards in the NFL over the past few years. But I hear he's dealing with an ankle injury. So I think that's part of the reason why the Steelers released him. And I'm sure, Steelers aren't, the Steelers haven't managed to cap really well. So that could be another reason as well. But they did sign the Steelers. I believe they signed guard Trey Turner a few days ago. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. 49ers first take says, doing good. Been catching up on some sleep on my days off. How are you? I'm doing good, man. I had a live stream, a few days ago with Stevie A. Smith, and I really missed doing live streams. So I had to come back on and, talk with the faithful, talk with the Niner Empire. I just had to come back. I missed doing streams. It felt like I hadn't done one in a while prior to a few days ago. And of course, we have the June 30th State of the Franchise for the 49ers coming up on, I believe that's Wednesday. Let me double check that. June 30th. Yeah, June 30th, Wednesday. So definitely looking forward to that. Definitely going to be streaming, and we'll be talking about that. But yeah, I'm doing really good, really good. CG Ruthless says David DeCastro is unlikely for us. Yeah, I don't think we'll sign David DeCastro either. I think we're pretty set at the guard position. We got Lincoln. We got Moore, who we drafted. We also got Aaron Banks, Brunskill. So I think we're pretty good at the guard position. Yeah, I don't think we'll be signing DeCastro. CG Ruthless says Trey getting more work in. Yeah, that's very good to see. And I can't say it enough. I just can't wait. Training camp can't come any sooner. The preseason can't come any sooner. We still have a month to go. But we know. I think we all know, Faithful. We know Trey can throw the rock. We know that. Let's see what he can do when there's a defense on the other side. That's all I want to see, Faithful. That's all I want to see. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think, Trey should be the starter week one? Or do you think he should have to prove that he's the starter week one? Let me know in the comments section. I think Trey should definitely have to prove that he's better than Jimmy G. If this was 2017 and we had Brian Hoyer starting at quarterback, then I would be like, okay, we might as well put Trey Lance in, because we know Brian Hoyer hasn't really had a successful stint in the NFL as a starting quarterback. No doubt, Brian Hoyer, he could be a backup quarterback. But if this was 2017, Brian Hoyer was there with Trey Lance, then yeah, I would say go ahead, throw the rookie in. That was Kyle Shanahan's first year. Might as well ride with the rookie. But we have Jimmy G already here. and he's proven that he can be an above average quarterback when healthy. So pay your time, got jokes. Oh man, Pale Time says, any idea who was ranked number one on that PFF list? Yeah, I know. It was good old the big man in the middle, Aaron Donald, no doubt. He's definitely generational type defensive lineman, defensive tackle. Aaron Donald, he's definitely a beast. He's definitely a guy that opposing offenses have to know where he is lined up on every snap, and he's definitely a problem. So it's definitely well deserved on that number one ranking on that PFF list. I know you couldn't wait to you couldn't wait to ask me that, right? But looks like Pale Time says, just kidding. I know we are talking Niners. It's all good. CG says, Samson, hopefully he becomes our replacement. I like his upside. Yeah. If Samson can get double digit sack season, I think that would definitely be great for the 49ers. I think that's definitely something that's going to be needed. If we have, just the defense is great. I feel like when we can get a pass rush on the quarterback, when we can make the quarterback uncomfortable, I think that's what allows his defense to be great. And if Samson could get you 10 sacks, Bosa could get you maybe 12 to 14 sacks, and then you got Armstead, maybe he can pitch in a little bit, Kinlaw, DJ Jones. I think this defense can be pretty good, maybe even better than last year. It should be better than last year because Bosa will be healthy. 49ers First Take says he's been quiet. Myself, tired from work, plus not a lot going on. Yeah, it's not a lot going on. But yeah, hopefully I'm sure there'll be big announcements at the 49ers State of the franchise. I'm sure everyone will be covering that. So definitely looking forward to that. Let's see. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Wyatt Long says, do you think Jimmy G is going to have a bounce back year? Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely think Jimmy G will have a bounce back year. There's a lot riding on this season for not only Jimmy G, but for Kyle Shanahan as well. Kyle Shanahan has only had one winning season since he's been with the 49ers. And Jimmy G, he can, I would say, resurrect his career. Unfortunately, when you think about Jimmy G, you think about the injuries, and he has a chance to basically right the ship. Because if he has a similar year this year like he did last year, he's definitely not going to be on the Niners next year. I'm not even sure if he would have a chance to get a starting quarterback job in the NFL. So a lot is riding on this season for Jimmy G. He came into camp with the right attitude. He understands this is a business. He understands that Trey Lance is a future, but if Jimmy G balls out, at least gets us to the playoffs. If he just puts up the same numbers he did in 2019, I think definitely teams will be looking to trade for him, and they would make him their starting quarterback. He had 27 touchdowns, 13 INTs in 2019. I would like to see that, turnover number below 10. That would be excellent. But yeah, I think definitely Jimmy will have a bounce back year for sure. Dale Tom says he's playing some Madden 03 on the GameCube while listening to Jay. All right, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. I appreciate you. 49er Faithful says, Jay, do you think Trey could possibly end up being a better version of Kaepernick? I would say so. Yeah. It seems like Trey is a better thrower. It seems like he's more accurate. But then again, we've seen Kaepernick against defenses. We haven't really seen Trey against the NFL defense. But for the 49ers' sake, yeah, I think we would want him to definitely be better than Kaepernick. I think we want Trey Lance to be the quarterback easy for the next like 12 to 15 years. So that's what we're hoping. But yeah, I think he can definitely be better than Cap. It's like CG says, 49 faithful. I hope he is good. He's as good as Pat Mahomes. That would be nice, right? That would definitely be. That's like, Pat Mahomes is like, one, two, three best quarterback in the NFL. So yeah, I think definitely he could be that. Dale Time has a question. He says, who was the last 49er to be on a Madden cover? That's a great question. I don't know if any 49er has been on the Madden cover. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section. I don't know if any 49er has been on the Madden cover. I don't think so. Like CG says, he thinks Terrell Owens. If Terrell Owens was on, I don't know if he was on when he was a 49er. I guess someone would have to look that up. Um, Thanks for coming back, Tommy. I appreciate you. Let's see. CG Ruthless says through 900 snaps, Samson has had 9 sacks. Yeah, that's definitely a rate that we want to see improved when he's on the 49ers. With the Rams, Samson even mentioned that, he wasn't really used as an edge rusher. He was more used as like a outside linebacker where his responsibilities were to read and then react. And with the Niners, Samson was told that his responsibilities will be um, just to basically be aggressive and attack. So hopefully, in 900 snaps with the 49ers, he'll have, double or triple the amount of sacks that he had with the LA Rams. Looks like Pale Time says one of the most interesting thing about the Niners, I think, is their new defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans, taking over for Robert Saleh. That is interesting. There's no doubt that D'Amico Ryans played the linebacker position at a high level in high school, college, in the pros, and obviously he knows the system. But I think it'll be somewhat of a learning curve because he's never called defensive plays before. No doubt he knows the system. No doubt the players respect him. But I think it will be a little bit of a learning curve for him calling plays, him making adjustments on the fly. That's what I want to see because Robert Saleh, he was pretty good at that. And that's what I'm looking forward to see with our new DC, how he can call plays and how he can make adjustments on the fly. If a team is running the ball down our throat, what does he do to adjust to that? What changes does he make? Looks like 49er Faithful says Trey does look like Mahomes a little bit. Hey, that would be great, right? That would be, that he would be our quarterback easily for the next 15 years if that was the case. But let's see. Damian Lee says Kaepernick was on the cover of Madden. I don't remember that. How long ago was that? Yeah, I don't remember that. Looks like CG Ruthless says, "Oh yeah, he was on the cover. I forgot. I stopped playing Madden years ago. Yeah, what year was that? When Kaepernick was on the cover of Madden? Let's see. On Madden cover. Yeah, looks like Colin Kaepernick was on the Madden cover in Madden 15. That's crazy. That's so long ago. It feels like it was so long ago. I don't even remember that. I might not even got that game in Madden 15. But yeah, that was Madden 15. Tommy says he hates video games. He's a sore loser. I can definitely agree with you there, man. Sometimes you just got to put it down. 49ers first take says, what do you think of tight end you? Not a fan of all this buddy stuff. I miss the days where players didn't rub elbows with their competition. Plus, it's an injury waiting to happen. That's a great point. 49ers first takes. I actually made a video about that. I just don't see how it benefits George Kittle to have a tight end university. It seems like if you're a tight end just coming into the league or you're not an established great tight end, then yeah, you would benefit from learning from guys like Darren Waller, Greg Olsen, Travis Kelce, and George Kittle. But I just don't see with those guys who have already established what they can learn from other guys. I just don't see the benefit. And yeah, injuries can happen. We all know, Fable. Injuries can happen anytime. So yeah, that would be unfortunate if that happened. But yeah, I just don't see why George Kittle benefits from having the tight end. I don't care as much as the buddy stuff. I just feel like Kittle will be showing them techniques and kind of like his secrets of how he's able to dominate on this level to other tight ends. And then they can use that information. And eventually we're going to play those tight ends. But I think that's why, for me, I don't like it. But, hey, to each his own. Obviously, they can do as they please. But, yeah, I don't like the tight end you. But At least he's putting good juju in the air, right? He's helping out other guys. So I guess if you look at it from that aspect, that is pretty good. It's like CG says, it was Kaepernick on the Madden cover. Yeah, it was Madden 15. Yep. 49ers First Take says T.O. was the Eagle on the 2K cover, never a Niners. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, yeah, I remember T.O. being on a football cover, but I don't think it was in a Niners uniform. So looks like Tyler says Kaepernick was never on the Madden cover. 15 was Sherman on the Seahawks. Yeah, I guess we're getting conflicting reports because I Googled it. And well, let me just Google. Let's see. Let's just Google Madden 15 and let's see what pops up. Oh, so it said, yeah, I when I type in Madden 15, it does show Richard Sherman. But so yeah, I don't know why. I guess someone must have photoshopped Kaepernick being on the Madden cover. Yeah, because I could remember. I was like, I don't think he's been on the Madden cover, but thanks for letting me know, Tyler. I appreciate you coming through. It's like Payo Time says Samsung will do well for the 49ers. He was a rotational guy with the Rams. Exactly. Yeah. Samsung should get a lot more snaps with the 49ers at the edge rushing position. With the Rams, as Payo Time mentioned, he's just a rotational guy. So Matt Navarro, what's good? We doing good over here, Matt. How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. How's your weekend going? Looks like Tommy says Samsung is going to spy on mobile quarterbacks and also sack guys. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. And so getting into, we already talked about the 49ers latest news about the PFF rankings, talked about Trey Lance working out in SoCal with Debo and Mohamed Sanu. Faithful Niner Empire. Let me know what you guys think. Who are the top 5 49er players lost in free agency this offseason? Let me know about that. Leave your picks in the comment section about the top 5 49er players lost in free agency. Lynch did an excellent job this offseason. There definitely were a lot of question marks on the team, especially in the secondary. There's a lot of free agents in the secondary. The offensive line needed to be revamped. Questions at the wide receiver position and the defensive line for sure. So I think Lynch did an excellent job adding depth, to the running back room, adding wide receivers, adding depth at that offensive line. And also on the defensive line, adding more edge rushers and more guys who can play the defensive tackle position. And, of course, adding some young talent to that secondary. And that's definitely a position of need in the offseason. I think Lynch did an excellent job. But there were 5 49er players I felt we could miss, who are no longer on the team. So let's get into my number 5. So number 5 for me, of the top 5 49er players who are no longer on the team, is defensive lineman Ronald Blair. Now, Ronald Blair in 2020, he did miss the entire season. But in 2019, he had a pretty solid season as a rotational defensive lineman for the 49ers. It's very unfortunate in 2019, our Super Bowl year, he missed, he was injured. He only played in 9 games, and then he had a setback in 2020. So I believe he had the torn ACL 2019, had a setback in 2020, and he missed the entire season. So Ronald Blair hasn't played meaningful football in about 2 years. And now he's with the New York Jets and under Robert Saleh. So hopefully he does well with the Jets, and hopefully Saleh does well as well. But I mentioned Ronald Blair because he was a solid rotational defensive lineman. As you see the ticker, you look at his stats from the 2019 season, and he did all this in just 9 games. So obviously he played in 9 games. Ronald Blair did. He had 1 fumble recovered, 3 sacks, 21 total tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. And this was all done in, he wasn't playing every snap, obviously. He was just playing, he was just spelling the starter. So Ronald Blair, he showed that he could play as a defensive lineman in the NFL. And I think he could be missed this offseason for sure. Let's see. Logan's Giants Zone. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Logan. How you doing, man? How you feeling about your Giants this year? Let me know in the comment section. Tommy says Blair had a bad injury. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, Tommy, but before he was hurt, he was playing well, Tommy. Before he was hurt, he was playing well. So I think he may not be missed because Lynch did an excellent job with adding depth among our defensive line, but it's disappointing because Blair was showing that he could play at a high level, and it just sucks that he had a setback with this injury and basically missed 2 years of football. So hopefully Blair does well with the New York Jets. And let's go to our number 4 player. Top 5 49ers players lost in free agency. Number 4 is Akello Witherspoon. So, Akello is a guy who it seems like a lot of 49ers, I wouldn't say take for granted, but, they were down on. There's no doubt Akello Witherspoon, he definitely struggled, in several games. But I felt like in 2019 season, he had his best year, and then he got hurt, and then he kind of wasn't the same again. But in that 2019 season, Akello played in 11 games. He had 4 passes defended, 20 total tackles, and 1 interception. And not only is Akello gone, he was a reliable corner in our secondary, but he went to the good old Seattle Seahawks. So not only is he not here, he went to the rival, the enemy, the NFC West enemy in the Seattle Seahawks. So I wish the best for Akello. Of course, not when he plays against the Niners, but it'd be interesting to see the Niners go up against the Seahawks with Akello Witherspoon lining up at corner. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Payo time. Hold on, let's get to Tommy's first. Tommy says he's the best corner in the NFL. Yeah, that's what Akello Witherspoon said. It's good that Akello has confidence, because you have to have confidence to play in the league. He can think he's the best corner in the NFL when healthy, but, obviously that doesn't mean we have to think that. Payout says, how confident are you that the Niners beat the Lions week 1? Remember, week 1 is weird. Easy. The Jags beat the Colts week 1 last year. The Niners, we got an early kickoff time. We gotta fly down the good old Motown, Detroit. Detroit Lions have a new head coach in Dan Campbell. They have a new GM. They also have a new quarterback in Jared Goff. And the 49ers have definitely had Jared Goff's number in the past when he was with the Rams. And I think that'll continue week 1 against the Lions. There's no doubt Jared Goff has a worse supporting cast with the Lions than he did with the Rams. I think this game could be a 1-2, or I think it could be a 2-touchdown game that the 49ers could win by. But that's how I can think. I can think that as a fan because I'm a fanatic of the team. But hopefully the 49ers come in. This is game 1. We have the 49ers need to play with a sense of urgency. The season just start. The season isn't over clearly. The Lions will be ready to play, and the 49ers need to be ready to play as well. But I think this could be a 2-touchdown win for the Niners. If the Niners come to play how they should, this could be a blowout. It's like Tommy said, Spoon can't shine Ramsey's shoes. I agree. Jalen Ramsey, he's the best corner in the NFL. Easy. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Spoon can have a bounce back year and stay healthy and be a good corner. Matt says our corner position is already set, and his name is Brian Allen. No, but Lynch did an excellent job in re-signing Jason Verrett, K'Waun Williams, Emmanuel Mosley, and then drafting 2 young corners. Because those 2 young corners, we need them to get a lot of playing time because they could be the starters next year. Because there's no telling if Verrett or K'Waun Williams will be back next year. So I'm definitely glad, Lynch drafted the two young corners, Lenore and Ambry Thomas, because they definitely could play big shoes, or they definitely could fill big shoes next year. They could be our starters. Time says true. The 49ers do have Goff's number. And it's not only that, the Lions don't have as good a supporting cast as the Rams do. So, you have Goff, who struggles against the Niners, and he won't have as many weapons. That doesn't sound like a recipe for success for the Detroit Lions. So looks like Logan says he feels his Giants will get 10 plus wins this year. He's got confidence in his team. Yeah, I think the Giants definitely have talent, both sides of the ball. And we'll see the status of Saquon Barkley. I know he's rehabbing from that torn ACL. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Daniel Jones does. If Daniel Jones won't be a turnover machine, then yeah, the Giants could be fighting in the division with Washington and Dallas for that number one spot. So looking forward to seeing what happens in that division. And to number three of the top 5 49er players who have been lost in free agency. And if you guys don't mind, go ahead, leave your number one player who's no longer on the team that you think the 49ers will miss. You can go ahead and leave your number one player in the chat. But I'll go ahead with my number 3, and that will be good old Richard Sherman. No doubt, Richard Sherman had some great times with the 49ers. He was definitely a leader. Richard Sherman, a leader on the field, leader in the locker room. He was a veteran presence to the younger guys in the secondary. He was definitely a player that other guys in the locker room looked up to. There's no doubt he was a leader. No doubt. I say this, he's one of the best tackling corners I've seen. I love his physical play. Very heady player. But, we're being real. Unfortunately, Sherman, he's battled injuries the last 2 years with the Achilles and then the calf. He was never the fleetest of foot. And now that he's older in his career, I'm not sure if he can still, guard receivers in man-to-man coverage. I think he's great in zone where he's reading the quarterback. He's being physical at the line of scrimmage. But when he has to run man-to-man coverage, I think there are other players on the team, who are better at that than Richard Sherman. But I'll definitely miss Richard Sherman's time being with the Niners. I just love the passion and energy he played with. Very smart player. And in 2019, he only played 5 games due to the calf injury. He had 1 interception, 1 pass defended, and 18 total tackles. I'm intrigued to see where Sherman will land. He still hasn't signed with the team. I wonder if he could transition to that safety position. A lot of players have transitioned from that position from corner to safety. We've seen that in the past. I always think of Charles Woodson and Rod Woodson. Those are 2 most notable names. But I think we'll definitely miss Richard Sherman. And I think the reason we don't sign him is because Richard Sherman, unfortunately, limits the defense because he can't really play man-to-man. So you would have to play zone coverage, at least on his side. And I think that limits the defense. But yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see where he will land. Maybe at safety at this point of his career could be the better decision. Let's see. Let's continue on with these comments. Tommy Huxley says Daniel Jones isn't that good. Yeah, he definitely hasn't proved that. I guess you could say he belongs in the NFL, or he could be a franchise quarterback. I should say that Daniel Jones has yet to prove that he could be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. So this is probably a make it or break it year for Daniel Jones and the Giants. Looks like Tommy Huxley is responding to the question of who is the number one 49er lost in free agency this offseason. And Tommy Huxley says Kerry Hyder. That's a great name. There's no doubt Kerry Hyder balled out with the Niners last year. Let's face it, faithful, he was the best edge rusher on our team last year. And, it sucks that he went to the enemy. He went to the Seahawks, faithful. So, but yeah, that's a great pick, Tommy. I appreciate Payo Time saying that. Everyone hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream, whether you're on Spotlight Sports Network, whether you on Jay in the Bay. I appreciate you if you hit that like button on the stream, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to your boy Jay in the Bay. Let's see. Logan says if Saquon stays healthy and DJ manages the game, we could be good. I'm excited to see even more out of our defense. I agree too. If they focus on the Giants, focus on running the ball and playing good defense, yeah, they can definitely contend in that NFC East. It's like Matt says, for what I've heard, Jared Goff was a 49ers fan. No wonder we've been on the Rams. LOL. That's funny. Yeah, he definitely had his struggles with the Niners when he's with the Rams. That's for sure. Let's see. BAL, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, stop by to give an algorithm boost. Hey, I appreciate you. He says, where's Sherman going? I know, right? Where's Sherman going? He could go to your silver and black, them good old Las Vegas Raiders. I think Sherman is he wants to get paid a certain salary, and maybe teams aren't willing to meet that request, so he's holding out. Sherman doesn't need training camp. He's very heady. He knows how to take care of his body, so he doesn't really need training camp. He'll stay in shape. But yeah, I mean, I've heard the Raiders, I've heard the Saints, I've heard that the Niners could still be interested, but I'd be surprised by that. But I think we'll definitely find out when we get closer to a training camp where Richard Sherman will be going. But yeah, I appreciate you coming through, man. Jared Goof. That's funny. Tommy Huxley says the enemy of my enemy is my enemy. All right. I appreciate that comment. Cardinals Nation, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Where you been, Cardinals Nation? He says, do you miss me? Hey, make sure you holler at DeAndre, the real DeAndre Hopkins. Make sure you tell him to come through. I definitely will be having a Cardinals fan on the Jay and the Bay YouTube channel. Same way with I did the Seattle Seahawks fan, Stevie A. Smith, a few days ago. Make sure you tune in to that stream for sure. And for those that are just tuning in, I have a question. If you're a 49ers fan, give your free agent who has lost this offseason, leave that name in the chat. So whoever is the player that will miss the most, who's already left in free agency, go ahead and leave that name in the chat. Tommy Huxley gave us a name already with Kerry Hyder. He definitely balled out for us last year. Kerry Hyder did, and now he's with the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm on number 3 right now with Richard Sherman. And looks like Logan says, like the stream, guys. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Logan. Jay, what's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, Jay. Jade is a Minnesota Vikings fan. And like I say, I welcome all NFL fans to the stream. Hope you're having a good weekend, Jade, and I appreciate you coming through. Payo Time says, I think Sherman is waiting for the season to sign after a winner needs him, like what Antonio Brown did last season. Yeah, I agree. I think, when we get closer and closer to training camp, teams will get more desperate. Also, if there's injuries, I think teams will get more desperate to sign, especially if there's a big injury at a corner position. Sherman will be there. His value will be even higher than it is right now, and he could get paid more. So I think that's definitely what Sherman is waiting for. Tommy says, oh boy, the kid is back. Good old Cardinals Nation. 49er Faithful says, I'm going to miss KB. That's another interesting name. No doubt, Kendrick Bourne, he was in that, number 3 wide receiver spot. And that's definitely a great name that you bring up, Niner Faithful. And that's funny you mentioned that, because number 2 on my list of the top 5 49ers lost in free agency is none other than Kendrick Bourne. So, Kendrick Bourne, he was a pretty good receiver for the Niners. I'm glad he got paid. He brought stability to that number 3 wide receiver position. And he's now with the New England Patriots. I hope he does well there. But yeah, I think this team could miss Kendrick Bourne because there is a lot of question marks at that number 3 wide receiver position. Faithful Niner Empire. Y'all know it. There definitely will be a camp battle for that number 3 wide receiver position. You got Richie James, you got Juwan Jennings, you got Jalen Hurd. But yeah, I think we could definitely miss KB And if you look at his stats in the 2020 season, he played in 15 games. He had 49 catches, 667 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and he averaged 13 yards per catch. And what I'm going to remember about KB Kendrick Bourne is, of course, he loved to dance, he loved to party, but usually he made big catches on third down. You know, he might drop passes on the earlier downs, but you know, Jimmy and the quarterbacks we had last year, Mullins and CJ Beathard, they would definitely look to Kendrick Bourne, especially on third downs. Because for some reason, you know, money downs, Kendrick Bourne, he would make those hard catches, but then, you know, first and second, he would drop the easy ones. So, but shout out to Kendrick Bourne. We're definitely going to miss him in the red and gold. He brought a lot of energy to the field. He was a solid receiver, number 3 for the team, and I hope he does well with the New England Patriots. And that's my number 2 player for the top 49er players lost in this year's free agency. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. El Jefe, what's good? He agrees with myself and the 49er faithful that Kendrick Bourne will be a rough loss. I agree. Niner faithful says, "Oh, Cardinals Nation is back." Yep, Cardinals Nation is back. I told him make sure he contacts the real DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop. Tell him to come on through too, man. Oh, man. Let's see. Cardinals Nation is being very generous to us right now. He's offering his prediction for the NFC West standings for this season. Let's check out and see what Cardinals Nation thinks. Oh, what do you know? What a surprise. Cardinals Nation has the Arizona Cardinals winning the division with a 14-3 record. Hot diggity dog. That's a great season. That's a hell of a season for your Cardinals if they're able to get to 14-3. He has the Seahawks going 11-5, Rams going 9-7, and he got the Niners going 6-11. Wow, that's cap, man. I hope this doesn't come to fruition, Cardinals Nation. I sure hope it doesn't. But you know, it's interesting. The Cardinals, they definitely got a good team. They just haven't been able to put it all together to get to the playoffs. So, you know, if they go from a non-playoff team last year to 14-3, man, that's saying a lot, Cardinals Nation. You are very optimistic about your team. Oh, man. And the 49 Faithful says, here we go again. Cardinals Nation, very optimistic about his squad. Oh, man. Jade says, all good. Thanks, Jay at Pale. What's up? Yeah, I enjoyed your stream where you predicted the Vikings schedule with Pale time. Excellent episode. I appreciate it. And that was an excellent episode. I enjoyed watching it. And I can't wait to continue to see more of Pale Time's Move series. If you haven't checked it out, go check out Pale Time's Move series. He interviews a fan from every team in the NFL, and they predict the schedule. So it's an excellent series. Check it out. Pale Time YouTube channel. And it looks like Tommy Huxley does not agree with the Cardinals Nation's prediction. Oh, man. Looks like Cardinals Nation feels the 49ers are done after just 1 year. Wow. Oh, man. Pale Time says, I strongly hope Cardinals Nation is wrong about those predictions because the Rams did not give up Goff and 2 firsts and a third to win 9 games. I know, right? Cardinals Nation, man. Keep that same energy, man. When the season starts, just keep that same energy, Cardinals Nation. Yeah, if the Rams, you know, only won 9 games, that would definitely be a failure. If that happened, you know, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think Stafford, he would still be the guy, but yeah, that would be crazy if that happened for your good old LA Rams. Let's see. Just like Tommy says, Pale, I'm calling Rams to get wild card. Niners winning the division. Okay. Can get down with that. Looks like Hogan's Giants zone. He's going to give us a prediction of the NFC West this year. So he says he has the Rams going 13-4, Niners going 11-6, Seahawks 11-6, and Cards 10-7. I agree with this. I agree with this prediction, and I feel like all the teams will be very close. So as you can see by this prediction, all the teams are really separated by only like 2 games. And I could definitely see this happening where every team in the division has a winning record and they could potentially go to the playoffs. And I think, that December month will be huge for all 4 teams in the division. And we played them good old LA Rams the last game of the year. I believe that's in SoFi Stadium, I think. So that's going to be a hell of a game because that could decide the division winner. So it's like Tommy Huxley says, Cards will finish last, Seahawks second to last. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I say that because, the Cardinals, if you look at, okay, they probably have the worst coach in the division, the Arizona Cardinals. Kingsbury has not been able to get the Cardinals to the playoffs yet. Every team in our division, Niners, Seahawks, and Rams, we've been to the division, we've been to the playoffs. We've all been to the Super Bowl. So the Cardinals have yet to do that. So with Cardinals, when you get to the playoffs, then come holla at the Niner Empire. And it looks like Cardinals Nation does not agree with my assessment. and I said, like Tommy says as well, Cliff Dingleberry is the worst coach in the NFC. He's definitely the worst coach in the NFC West, that's for sure. But yeah, he hasn't been able to get the Cardinals to the playoffs. So like Payo Time likes Logan's fix better. How convenient of you, Payo Time. How convenient. El Jefe says super cap. All right. And let's see. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Fail Time says that thanks for that shout out, Jay. No problem, man. You got an excellent series. And I can't wait to see who else you got coming up. G-Rod, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. G-Rod says, a lot of talk this last week about the likes of signing Justin Houston for our D-line. He's definitely having a Hall of Fame-like career and a disruptor for sure. What are your thoughts? I will definitely answer that. But first, G-Rod, let me know in the chat. I have a top 5 list of the 49ers who are no longer on the team. Leaves your number 1 player who we will most miss on the roster. So far, I had Ronald Blair, I had Akella Witherspoon, I had Richard Sherman and Kendrick Bourne. Let me know your number 1 player who you think will miss most this season. But yeah, I definitely like Justin Houston. Justin Houston, he played the last 2 years with the Indianapolis Colts. I believe he's had about 16, 18 sacks the last 2 years. He's also played every game. He's been healthy the entire 2 years with the Indianapolis Colts. So I think he would definitely help us as an edge rusher because we don't know what we're getting from D Ford. And then with Nick Bosa, I know he looks good working out, but we really don't want to have Nick Bosa playing 100% of the snaps when he's coming off that torn ACL. I think we should slowly increase his snaps as the season goes on, so Justin Houston can play his position. Of course, we still have Arden Key, still got Samson Bucum, but yeah, I definitely like Justin Houston, and I'm eager to see where he lands because a lot of teams are interested in Justin Houston, and I'm sure he's, he doesn't have too many contracts left in the NFL as a player, so he's trying to get the most money he can get, and I definitely respect that. Let's see. Let's see. Tommy says Stafford better than Kyler Murray. At least he made the playoffs once. That is very true. Stafford has made the playoffs, and there's no doubt Stafford. He has the best talent he's ever played around with the LA Rams on both sides of the ball, and I expect the Rams to be pretty good this year. Let's see. Jade says, yeah, thanks for checking it out. Love the 49ers Moose episode as well. Keep up the great work, Jay, and at Payo on the channels. Can't wait for the season to start. Peace for now. Cheers. I appreciate you coming through, Jade. Keep doing what you're doing, pumping out that Minnesota Vikings content. The Niners do play the Vikings this year, so we definitely got to collab. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And good luck to your Vikings, this season. Logan's Giants Zone says it's the toughest division in the in football. I agree. NFC West is very, very tough. Very tough. So it looks like Pale Time has confirmed for me. Pale Time has confirmed that week what week 18, the Niners got to fly down to SoFi Stadium in SoCal, most expensive stadium ever built in the NFL. And that's going to be a hell of a game. The division winner could be decided in that game. I can't wait. Last game of the season. I'm definitely looking forward to it, Pale. Let's see. Tommy says the Cardinals are going 0-17. Oh man, Redder, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Redder. How you doing today, man? How you doing on a Sunday? It's like Pale Time says, great stream. Everyone hit the like button. Yeah, I appreciate everyone hitting the like button. Let's see. Looks like Redder says for his Steelers, he's a Steelers fan. He says, Ben going to get injured by week 4 due to my Steelers O-line being horrible. Well, you guys, I know you guys got, you cut DeCastro, the guard, but then you signed Trey Turner. I don't know if he's as good as DeCastro. He could be, similar. What do you think about that move? I appreciate you coming through, Payo. I will see you in the next one. Appreciate you coming through. Hope you have a good weekend. And my number one, actually, well, first, top 5 49ers lost in free agency. Number 5 was Ronald Blair. Number 4 was Akello Witherspoon. Number 3 was Richard Sherman. Number 2 is Kendrick Bourne. And my number 1 player is Kerry Hyder Jr. I got to be honest with you, faithful. Got to be honest. When the 49ers signed Kerry Hyder, I had never heard of him. But there's no doubt he made the most out of his opportunity with the 49ers. He played in all 16 games. He had 1 fumble recovery, led the 49ers with 8.5 sacks, 49 tackles, 18 QB hits, and 10 tackles for loss. There's no doubt that Kerry Hyder earned that contract that the Seahawks gave him. It just sucks that, Kerry Hyder, why'd you have to go to the Seahawks, man? I know you're trying to get, I know you're getting the most money you can get. I respect that. But it would have been nice if we could have re-signed Kerry Hyder because he was only our best pass rusher last year, and the Seahawks didn't give him that much money. Let's see. I think Kerry Hyder. Let's look up Kerry Hyder's contract. I know he didn't break the bank. Seahawks did not break the bank for Kerry Hyder. So let's see what Kerry Hyder's contract was. So, and Kerry Hyder is 30 years old. Man, he went undrafted in 2014. That's crazy. He's done an excellent job with his career. So the Seahawks signed Kerry Hyder to a 2-year, $6.8 million contract. His signing bonus was $2.5 million, and he's going to be averaging about $3.4 million per year. I mean, that's a pretty good deal for the Seahawks to get edge rusher who had 8.5 sacks last year. Like that almost seems like too low. But he definitely feels a need for the Seahawks. Kerry Hyder does, and you'll have Kerry Hyder and Carlos Dunlap as the edge rushers for the Seahawks. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Trent Williams on Kerry Hyder or Mike McGlinchey on Kerry Hyder, and hopefully he has a successful year. Kerry Hyder, just not playing against the Niners. So that's my number 1. I think Kerry Hyder is the number 1 Niner who will be missed. And I know Lynch did an excellent job with adding depth to the defensive line, but there's no doubt Kerry Hyder was our best edge rusher last year. There's no doubt. So it's like Logan has a question for the Cardinals Nation. He says, how did your last Super Bowl go? Oh man. I appreciate you coming through, Logan. Appreciate you coming through, man. Thanks for checking out your boy, Jay in the Bay. Let's see. G Rod says it was said last week that the Seahawks have potential to take the West due to Wilson being the best quarterback in our division and having two of the most dangerous wideouts. Now, there's no doubt. There's no doubt Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFC West, and they have a great tandem up there in Seattle with Lockett and DK Metcalf. They definitely present problems to defenses across the entire NFL. They also got a good running game, Chris Carson. They upgraded their offensive line. I believe they traded for, I believe it was Gabe Jackson, the guard. So he's a pretty good guard. He should help out that offensive line. I think the issue with the Seahawks has been the defense. They had issue last year in the first half of the season generating pass rush, and that really hurt their defense. And when they traded for Carlos Dunlap last year, that definitely elevated the defense. The defense definitely got better. And we'll see what happens with the corners because they did lose Shaquille Griffin. He was their best corner, and he signed a lucrative contract extension with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, we'll see how their corners hold up as well. But it's going to be a dogfight. G-Rod, it's the toughest division in the NFC West. It's definitely going to be a dogfight. I could see all four teams having a winning record. And I think it's going to come down to that last month in December and who's the healthiest at the end of the season. I think that's what it'll come down to. But I appreciate your comment, G-Rod. Looks like Cardinals Nation says Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback. He hasn't proven it yet, Cardinals Nation. He hasn't proven he's a franchise quarterback yet. Looks like Redder Force says, Cardinals Nation, remember the Super Bowl Steelers against Cards? Yeah, I remember that. How could I forget? I appreciate you coming through, Tommy. Appreciate you coming through, man. Tommy says he got to go, guys, and Cardinals Nation stay weak. I appreciate you coming through, Tommy. G-Rod says one of our most missed this year will be Hyder. Yeah, I agree, man. Who's going to replace his production? 8.5 sacks. Can Samson get 8.5 sacks or more? I think he can. Also, in a close second, it would be Kendrick Bourne. G-Rod, look at Kendrick Bourne's stats. He played in 15 games, 49 catches, 667 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged about 13 yards per catch. That's 49 catches missing in this offense. So who's going to step up and be that number 3 wide receiver that can replace Kendrick Bourne's production? That's a interesting question. There's definitely going to be a wide receiver 3 battle out in camp. I can't wait to see that. It's going to be between, I think, Juwan Jennings, Jalen Hurd, and Richie James. So, may the best man win, but we're definitely going to need to replace Kendrick Bourne's production. That's for sure. And Cardinals Nation says he run Tommy Huxley's mind. I'm the only one who matters. 49er Faithful says, off topic, but if Daniel Jones doesn't make the playoffs this year, he's got to go. You're most likely right. I don't follow the Giants too closely, but let's look up his stats real quick. Daniel Jones stats as a quarterback with them good old New York Jets. I mean, he's only been with the team 2 years, but nowadays, teams don't give quarterbacks time to develop. I mean, just because you're great in college, it doesn't necessarily translate to the NFL. I think that's why, quarterbacks need to take their time, learn the system, get comfortable, and then you have to surround that quarterback with talent. That's why I don't understand why people are such in a rush to start Trey Lance. I just don't get it. I mean, there's no doubt. Is Trey Lance going to be more exciting than Jimmy G? Well, yeah, of course it'll be more exciting, but we've seen what Jimmy can do when healthy. We have no idea what Trey brings to the table. But back to Daniel Jones. So you look at his career in 2019, he's 22 years old. He's a rookie. Played in 13 games, 3-9 record, threw 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That ain't bad. That's okay. And last year, 2020, played in 14 games. Let's see, he threw 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So that was pretty bad. So obviously he is a turnover machine, Daniel Jones. But he only got 2 years. That's why I think you should just let a quarterback develop. Like most quarterbacks when they first come into the league, they're just not going to set the world on fire as a rookie. You rarely see that. I know people are going to talk about Burrow and people are going to talk about what's the name, Justin Herbert out of LA, but most of the time that doesn't happen. That's pretty rare that a rookie quarterback comes in, sets the league on fire, and is a franchise quarterback. Usually it takes time for quarterbacks to develop. And we got Jimmy G. So we have time to allow Trey to develop, get comfortable in the system, get used to the speed of the NFL, learn that playbook. So there's really no rush for me. There's no rush for me to rush Trey Lance. Cardinals Nation says the Steelers are garbage. Corey Davis says, Jay in the Bay, I want that hat. Man, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, my wife got me this hat for Father's Day. So shout out, wifey. Did an excellent job, faithful to the Bay. That's right. Yeah, go get you this hat, KD. Go get you this hat, man. D-Rod says, Richie James definitely has the speed and hands to be our Lockett type wideout. He showed it a few times last year. I mean, with Richie, I saw it in the Green Bay game. But I just, Richie, he just hasn't shown enough for me. When he's on the field, he just don't stand out. Like he hasn't really made a lot of plays. Let's look up Richie James' stats. So for everyone that don't know, Richie James, 5'9", 185. He's been with the Niners since 2018. At least you could say Richie James is durable. He's played in at least 11 games every year of his career. But in 2018, he had 12 catches, 75 yards. 2019, he had 33 catches, 264 yards. And last year, he only had 6 catches for 34 yards. Actually, no, excuse me. Those are his punt return stats. Excuse me. So Richie James, here are his receiving stats in 2018. He had 9 catches, 130 yards. 2019, he had 6 catches, 165 yards. These are his receiving stats. In 2020, he had 23 catches, 394 yards. So he just hasn't, I feel like he hasn't really made the most out of his opportunity. But we'll see. If he's the best guy in the number 3 slot, then put Richie James in there. I'm down for it. But what he's done the last 3 years, Richie James, it just seems like he's another guy. That's honestly what it seems like. It doesn't seem like he's a difference maker. It just seems like he's another guy. But we'll see what happens because there's definitely going to be a battle for that number 3 wide receiver position, and may the best man win. Outbeer the analyst, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How you doing on this Sunday? Let's see. Akbar says we got to collab when the Eagles play the 49ers. Absolutely. I'm definitely down to do that. That should be an intriguing matchup. Game 2, week 2 of the regular season. Definitely Jalen Hurts could present some problems to the 49ers because we've kind of struggled, as a lot of teams do. We struggle with mobile quarterbacks. And I'm looking forward to that season, or excuse me, this season, and also the Eagles game. And yeah, we definitely got to link up for sure, man. I appreciate you coming through. But yeah, Richie James, we'll see what he does. He definitely has potential, but he just hasn't proven to be a difference maker at this point in his career. So, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. There's definitely other camp battles that I'm definitely looking forward to in July, in the last week of July when training camp starts. There's going to be a battle, of course, at quarterback. You got Jimmy G versus a young gun Trey. There's also going to be a battle at that right guard spot. I think the offensive line is solidified with Trent Williams at the left tackle, Lincoln Tomlinson at the left guard. At center, we got Alex Mack. At right tackle, you got McGlinchey. And then at that right guard spot, Brunskill, I think he was scheduled to be the starter. But when we drafted Aaron Banks high in the second round, Aaron Banks could start over Brunskill. And, I don't care who starts. Whoever puts the Niners in the best position to win. That's all I really care about. But yeah, I'm eager to see if Brunskill can keep his starting job at right guard or if Banks will get that starting job. So that could be that would be an interesting matchup. Of course, you got the wide receiver 3. And I think we do have a ton of safeties on the roster, right? We do have a ton of safeties, but I think at least Jimmy Ward, I don't think anyone will start over him. But I think, Jaquiski Tart, there could be competition definitely for Jaquiski Tart's safety position because he's only signed to a 1-year deal. So that could be a interesting camp battle as well. Corey Davis says he named his cat Trey Lance. That's pretty dope, man. That's crazy. Do you want Corey Davis? Let me know in the comment section. Do you think Trey Lance, speaking of Trey Lance, do you think he should start week 1 and we get rid of Jimmy now? Or do you think Trey Lance should prove that he's better than Jimmy G? What do you think, man? Let me know in the comment section, Corey. And I appreciate everyone watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. And if you have any questions, comments, let me know in the chat. I just want to hop in on the Sunday. Talk about the Niners, talk about the latest news. There are 4 49ers who are top 5, or excuse me, there are 4 49ers who are in PFF's list, top 50 NFL players. And we have 4 Niner players who are actually in that top 50. We had Nick Bosa, we had Trent Williams, George Kittle, and Fred Warner. So definitely that's a nice accomplishment for the 49ers. And also Trey Lance, he's putting in that work. Trey Lance is putting in that work in SoCal. He's working out with receivers Deebo Samuel and Mohamed Sanu. So that's definitely good that they're developing a rapport. And I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit, talk about the red and gold. I appreciate everyone coming through. Let me know if you have any questions, comments. Now, June 30th, make sure you mark your calendar. June 30th is the 49ers state of the franchise. A lot's going to be going on that day. You can watch. I think they said you can only watch through the 49ers app. So make sure you download that app. And that way you can watch the 49ers state of the franchise. I will definitely be live streaming, probably not Wednesday, the day of the state of the franchise. It'll probably be on Thursday. So I will live stream the following day. We'll talk about everything that was discussed. And I'd love to get you guys' feedback. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to next week. Also, stay tuned to Jay and the Bay channel. I'll also be talking to I talked to a Seahawks fan, Steezy A. Smith, last week, or actually, a few days ago. And then I'll also be talking to an Arizona Cardinals fan and the LA Rams fan as well. That'll be coming up. That's in the works for the month of July. And looks like Corey Davis says he thinks it's Jimmy G is the starter until Trey Lance take it. Now, I agree too. Trey Lance, he looks good throwing, against air, just throwing to a receiver on the field. But how does Trey Lance react when, there's a pass rush coming towards him? Trey Lance, he may not be no longer the best athlete on the field whenever he steps onto the field. In college, he was. I'm sure he was the fastest, best athlete on the field in college. But in the NFL, everyone run a 4.4. Everyone's fast. So I want to see how Trey Lance reacts to playing against a defense. And if Trey Lance is better in, training camp when the pads are on, if he's better in preseason than Jimmy, then yeah, Trey Lance has earned the job. But I agree with you, Corey. Trey should have to take it. I don't think we should get rid of Jimmy just to allow Trey Lance to start. I just don't agree with that thinking because he's a rookie quarterback. He's never played in the NFL. So I appreciate everyone coming through, supporting Jay in the Bay. Let me know any other questions, comments. Make sure if you haven't, make sure you follow Jay in the Bay, IG, Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Jay in the Bay. And let's see. Looks like we have another comment. Looks like Jamie. First time I seen you in the stream. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, Jamie. He says Jimmy's not holding any workouts. Lance is on his third. That's very interesting. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why Jimmy isn't holding any, extra workouts. You know, I think both quarterbacks have a lot to prove. And, Jimmy, obviously, he's played in the NFL. He's got experience, took the Niners to the Super Bowl. But, yeah, I don't know why Jimmy isn't holding any personal workouts. Do I think less of Jimmy? No. He showed up to voluntary mini camp and he was looking good. He was throwing the rock. And that's good. Lance kind of has a little bit more to prove, at least to his teammates, you would think. So that's good. He's working out with receivers, but I don't think less of Jimmy. I don't think less of Jimmy because he's not working out as much as Trey. I guess I would say I don't think less of Jimmy, but I appreciate your comment. Do you think Jamie? Let me know. Do you think less of Jimmy because he's not holding as many workouts as Trey Lance? I mean, Jimmy could be. We haven't seen it. We haven't heard it. But I don't know. But let me know in the comment section, Jamie. Do you think we should think less of Jimmy because he's not holding as many workouts as Trey Lance? Let me know. Let's see. Corey Davis says, is Jimmy G working with the receivers? Yeah. So since minicamp has ended, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything that showed video of Jimmy working out with the receivers. Now, do I think less of Jimmy? No. I think it's great that Trey is doing more than he has to. That's great, but I don't think of Jimmy less because he's not working with the receivers right now. No. G Rod says most of the analysts have said to let Lance sit behind Jimmy for a bit. As long as Jimmy can play healthy and make a strong comeback. If not, then throw in Lance. I totally agree. Because Jimmy, Jimmy is a proven starter. We've seen what Jimmy can do. I think we should let Jimmy start week 1, and we'll see how the season goes. If Jimmy has a 2019 season, then I think Jimmy will play every game, and Trey, won't start any games at quarterback. I still think he could come in on certain packages. I think Kyle Shanahan could do that for Trey, have him come in, kind of like a Taysom Hill role, maybe have about 6 to 8 snaps a game just to get Trey in there and live NFL action, and also give the defense another look because now they have to worry about Trey running the ball, so it could confuse the defense. But yeah, if Jimmy is healthy the whole year, I think he'll start every game, get us to the playoffs, and we'll be on another run, possibly to the Super Bowl. Now, if Jimmy gets hurt for an extended amount of time, then most likely Trey Lance is going to be the starter, for that time being. Or if Jimmy, isn't playing well and the team is losing, that's when Trey could start. So if Jimmy isn't healthy, Trey could start. If Jimmy isn't playing good enough, Trey could start. And also if the team is losing, I think Trey will start. Let's see. Jamie says Lance going to take his job if G don't get in on some of this. Lance looks like the leader. Interesting. That's an interesting perspective, Jamie. I can't disagree with you. I mean, it does look better, that Trey Lance is still working out the receivers. Trey Lance is doing more than he has to. And Jimmy right now is not doing that. I don't think less of Jimmy, but I think Trey is trying to put his best foot forward, and I respect that. So let's see. G-Rod says we will get a glimpse of Lance in preseason and see where he's at. Exactly. Because, Lance, he looks good throwing against air with no defense, and that's great. But let's see what he does in preseason. Hopefully he can get a few starts in preseason, and then we can see how he plays against like a number one defense, like a starting caliber defense. So, and I agree with Corey Davis. He says he's ready for the preseason and the season to start, and it can't come any sooner. Especially because there's not going to be much news unless the 49ers sign some players. But as you all know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, the 49ers have made a lot of free agent signings. But after the state of the franchise, there's just not that much going on between then and, the start of training camp. So definitely looking forward to it. It can't come any sooner. I know it's a month away. But yeah, it definitely can't come any sooner, Corey. Jamie says Ayuk, Debo, and Sanu, they all working out with Lance, earning the locker room. Now, I agree. They're definitely, working out with Lance. I think Lance is definitely doing a good job of putting his best foot forward. I don't know if Jimmy doesn't feel like he needs to do that, or, I don't know. But we'll see. The real work, obviously, it's great that they're working out now, but obviously we'll see them in training camp as well. And obviously, of course, Jimmy will be there and he'll be throwing to the receivers. So looks like Jamie says I'm a big G guy too. Okay. Yeah, and I am a Jimmy G fan. I love to say Jimmy G, that's my quarterback, because I don't take for granted what he did for us in 2019. And I just, Jimmy G has an opportunity to right his career. He has a chance to, prove to people that he can stay healthy and be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Looks like G Rod says, I just fear more injuries during training camp and preseason. Not trying to speak it into existence, but just saying, yeah, unfortunately, that is, a downside to having the training camp. But the guys, the players, they have to get ready for contact. They have to get in shape, and the only way you do that is you got to play football. So it's injuries happen to every team, and of course we don't want them to happen to our team, and we're already down. Jeff Wilson Jr., he'll be out until November, December. Tavarius Moore will be out the rest of the year, and also Justin School. So we just hope. I know we all hope that we don't have any more like season-ending injuries, because obviously that'd be terrible. But the guys got to get in shape. They got to get ready. The only way to get ready is you got to play the game. Corey Davis says, "Do you think Jimmy will play in the preseason?" I think so. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's 3 preseason games this year. Let me check real quick. I think it's 3 preseason games. Let's see, 49ers. So looks like there's 3 preseason games this year for the Niners. First game, August 14th, 5:30 p.m. The Chiefs will be playing at the Niners. August 22nd, my mom's birthday. Shout out mom. Mom's birthday, August 22nd. 49ers at the Chargers. And then the good old Las Vegas Raiders come back to the Bay Area to take on the Niners August 29th. So yeah, I could see Jimmy playing, maybe two series. The first game against the Chiefs, and then against the Chargers, maybe he'll play another 2 series, and then maybe against the Raiders he'll play 4, or maybe even the first half. I think Jimmy has to play the preseason. I think so. He has to play the preseason. And I think Trey will play as well. I think Trey will probably play more in the preseason, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. How will Shanahan use Trey differently than he uses Jimmy G? Very excited to see that. And I can't wait till August 14th, when the first preseason starts. And it looks like Corey Davis agrees that yes, Jimmy G will play the preseason. Let's see, G Rod says, I honestly feel bad for Jimmy because he's taking such a bad rap since his injuries and bad play, and everybody just wants to write him off so quick. How would we feel if we were in his shoes? Now, that's a very good point. it sucks because sometimes injuries, it's not your fault. When he tore his ACL against KC, he was running to the sideline trying to make a play. He was stepping out of bounds and his knee just gave out. Like, how is that his fault? But yeah, he's definitely. I don't know if I can say he's getting a bad rap. Unfortunately, the fans, they just don't trust Jimmy because of his injury history, and I can't blame him. I can't tell them they're wrong for feeling that way. That they can't depend on him and that they're through with Jimmy. But when healthy, 2019, he was integral in getting us to the Super Bowl. So that's why I'm still a Jimmy G fan. I want him to prove everyone wrong who's not in his corner, because he's had success in the NFL, and a lot of quarterbacks can't say that. I mean, most quarterbacks don't play in the Super Bowl. Most quarterbacks don't win playoff games, and Jimmy G has done that. But yeah, people are quick to just write him off, and I think Jimmy G came into camp with the right attitude, and he's ready to compete. He's not ready to just give his starting job to Trey Lance. So I like Jimmy G's spirit. I like that he's ready to compete, and he wants to keep that starting job. And yeah, unfortunately, people don't. Sometimes they don't wonder how it feels to be in someone else's shoes, but I'm sure. I'm sure they don't care because Jimmy G making like 25 million a year, but yeah, hopefully Jimmy G come back and he proves everyone wrong, man. So it's like Jamie says, hope we get Ingram or more help off edge. On the edge, we got Armstead, we got Samson Ibuka, we got Bosa, got Arden Key, Jordan Willis will be back there. Maurice Hurst, well, he'll be on the inside. But I agree. What do you think about Justin Houston? Jamie, let me know what you think about Justin Houston. We've talked about him in the stream earlier. But Melvin Ingram, last year, let me double check that. Because there's no doubt Melvin Ingram, he was a hell of a player with the good old LA Superchargers. But last year, unfortunately, with Melvin Ingram, he didn't record a sack, which is weird because he's an edge rusher. But yeah, last year he did not record a sack. So I'm not sure if we should bring on, and he's 30. He'll be 32 years old. So I'm not sure. Is this a blip or is this a trend? But last year he did not record a sack, and then the previous 2 years, 2019 and 2018, he had 7 sacks each. So if we do get another edge rusher, I'm hoping we get Justin Houston. Just like Jamie says, Jimmy's scared of Chiefs D line. That will be telling. Well, I think Lynch did an excellent job. this offseason in solidifying the offensive line. We re-signed the big silverback Trent Williams. Lincoln Thompson still on the squad. We have a veteran center who's played under Kyle Shanahan's offense before. That's Alex Mack. And hopefully McGlinchey will have a bounce back year. McGlinchey is in the final year of his contract. This is a contract year for McGlinchey. Usually players, they love to ball out on their contract year because they know that big payday is coming their way. So I think McGlinchey should have a bounce back year. He put on a little bit more weight. So hopefully he'll hold up better in pass coverage. Niner Faithful says Bosa coming for that comeback player of the year. All right. I would love to see that, man. Yeah, I definitely would love to see that. We're definitely going to need Bosa to have another double-digit sack year for sure. Roberto Hastings, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I'm doing pretty well, Roberto. Appreciate you coming through. I'm doing pretty good on this Sunday. It's like Corey Davis says, last year, defensive lineman hit Jimmy G in the lower leg. Yep. I remember that play. And unfortunately, Lincoln Tomlinson allowed that to happen. And I believe it was against Leonard Davis. I believe. Was it Leonard Davis? I think so. It was a player on the defensive line for the Jets. I think it was Leonard Davis, but basically he was able to get around Lincoln Tomlinson and kind of stepped on Jimmy's leg. And that's when he had that or it might have been no, it wasn't Leonard Davis. I think it was Quinnen Williams. I think it was Quinnen Williams, who was a high first round draft pick for the Jets. Pretty good defensive tackle, and I believe he got around Lincoln Tomlinson and he stepped on Jimmy G's foot, and that's how Jimmy G had that severe high ankle sprain. So, but there's no doubt, Quinnen Williams, he's definitely an excellent defensive tackle. But hopefully, and I feel like, how is that Jimmy's fault, right? How's that Jimmy's fault? You know, that it's very unfortunate. It's a physical game and injuries happen, but I don't think that's Jimmy's fault on that one. But that was Quinnen Williams did his job. He did what he's supposed to do, attack the quarterback. It's just unfortunate that Jimmy had that high ankle sprain. The Sports Star, what's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, man. How you doing on a Sunday? I appreciate you coming through. Jamie says Houston is a baller as well. Yeah. Yep. And I think he's just waiting to try to get, his most lucrative contract he can get. And I don't blame him. So it'd be eager to see where Justin Houston lands. Sean T. Uber, what's good? How you doing on this Sunday? Thanks for coming through to the stream. It's Golden Grizz. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Shanti Uber says Jimmy should have better protection coming this year. I agree. We brought back Trent Williams, brought in Alex Mack. Daniel Brunskill will be at that right guard, or Aaron Banks. And then Mike McGlinchey should have a bounce back year. So I think we should have excellent protection for Jimmy, and also the offensive line will be creating holes for the running game. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I appreciate everyone coming through. And Jimmy G, hopefully Jimmy G can have a repeat of 2019, or at least something similar to it. I would love to see if he could throw less INTs, maybe stay under double figures for INTs. And I think this team, we're going to be running the ball a lot. Very unfortunate that Jeff Wilson Jr. got hurt, but I think the Niners proved through the draft that, this team will be running the ball, 25 to 35 times a game. It's very unfortunate that Jeff Wilson Jr. got hurt, but good thing we drafted Trey Sermon. We still have Mostert, we still have Hasty, and we also added Wayne Gallman, free agent running back from the New York Jets. So this team will definitely be running the ball a lot. And that also, of course, helps Jimmy G out. And it also helps with that good old play action pass. Shanti Uber says, like the stream. If you haven't already, guys, I appreciate you. Let's see. G-Rod says, heard a recent talk about us signing players to ridiculous contracts and that they're not worthy of their contracts, such as Jimmy G, Armstead, and Default. Well, if we all remember, we can all go back to 2017. The 49ers traded for Jimmy G during the regular season. And, Jimmy G, he balled out. Jimmy G went 5-0. And let's be real, the 49ers were desperate to get a starting quarterback. And Jimmy G kind of fell in their lap. We only had to give up a second-round pick for Jimmy G. And, there's no doubt Jimmy G was better than Brian Hoyer. He's better than Mullins. He's better than Beathard. And quarterbacks, they get paid a lot of money. If you're paying a starting quarterback, starting quarterback money, they're going to make a lot of money. And I think the Niners did a good job in bringing in Jimmy G. Unfortunately, he was hurt, but he had that one great year. Now, Eric Armstead, yeah. Oh, man. G-Rod. Yeah, there's no argument there with Eric Armstead. DeForest Buckner, the Niners didn't want to pay DeForest Buckner what he was asking. The Colts did pay him that, and we kept Armstead. If you look at Armstead's stats, through the first 4 years of his career, they leave a little bit to be desired. And then in a contract year, Armstead balled out. He was surrounded by Bosa, Forrest Buckner, D Ford, and Armstead balled out. But I don't know if he is, can he get double-digit sacks for the amount of money that Armstead is getting? He should get double-digit sacks. But I don't know if he's capable of that. Well, let's see. In his best year, 2019, let's see, he had 10 sacks. In his best year in 2019, he did have 10 sacks. So how can Armstead recreate that? That's what we'll need from Armstead. We need him to get them sacks. Let's see. Jamie says Jimmy lost lots of fans game 1 last year, dancing and yeah. I mean, maybe Jimmy didn't trust the old line, Maybe Jimmy didn't trust his old line. Jimmy was doing that often. Yeah, I remember that. He was, running in circles. But hopefully he won't do that this year. The offensive line is better. We're going to continue to run the ball. And hopefully Jimmy G will play better. His career is riding on this year. KD says, if you play football, Jay in the Bay, what position would you play? I think I would want to play tight end because I like catching the ball. I think I would want to play tight end. What position would you play, KD? Let me know. Shanti Uber says, who got paid more, Defoe or Kittle? Oh, it's definitely DeForest Buckner. Yeah. Definitely DeForest Buckner. I agree with you, Jamie. I agree with you. Great minds think alike, man. He says Armstead needs to stay inside and off the edge. I agree. I just feel like for Armstead on the edge, he's, I don't know if he's not that quick. I just feel like, he's not. He doesn't seem like he plays his best on the edge. Like you really got to get to the quarterback on the edge. Inside, it seems like he's able to use his leverage better. He's a tall guy. Maybe he's like 6'6". No, Armstead 6'7". So, he's a tall guy. I feel like he can use his leverage better inside against guards and centers. But hopefully, that's another interesting aspect about the new defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. I wish someone would answer or would ask him this question. If I was a reporter and I was able to interview DeMeco Ryans, I would ask him, where do you intend on playing Eric Armstead, and where do you feel like he will be at his best? What position do you feel like Eric Armstead will be at his best, either edge rusher or defensive tackle? I wish I could ask DeMeco Ryans that, because I feel like, he's probably better suited inside, next to Kinlaw. Looks like Corey says, without Bosa, Armstead was getting doubled a lot at left tackle last year. Yeah. So with Bosa back, hopefully Armstead would have a lot of one-on-ones, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, even if you look at Armstead's numbers, the first 4 seasons of his career, 2015, 2016, 2017, he definitely struggled to stay healthy. Out of a possible 48 games through the first 3 seasons of his career, he only played 30. So he played 30 out of 48 games the first 3 years of his career. You definitely want a first-round pick to play more games than that. First 3 years of his career, he had about 6 total sacks in 3 years. The first 3 years of his career. This is Eric Armstead. 2019, he balled out. I just want to see you do it again, Armstead. But Corey Davis makes an excellent point. He was getting double teamed, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, with Bosa, Armstead will get more one-on-one matches, and he'll be able to convert those one-on-one matches, into an advantage, and he'll be able to sack the quarterback, or at least hit the quarterback. At least make the quarterback feel your presence. Let's see. G Rod says, "Hey Jay, tight end, nice suit up, bro. Let's see what you got." That's funny. Oh man. Shanti Uber says, "Yeah, Armstead can use his length to knock some balls down on the ends." That's a very good point as well, Shanti. He can use his length to knock down balls, right? Because he's 6'7". That's pretty tall for a football player in general, but especially at the defensive tackle position, he get that big arm up there, he'll block some balls. So, what's good? How you doing, Jay? How you doing on this Sunday, man? Let's see. Jay says, "How many Hall of Famers you think we have on this 49ers roster?" Wow, that's an excellent question. Based off what I've seen so far, but you got to put Fred Warner up there, and I mean, Bosa, it's too early. You know, he had one great year. It's too early for Bosa. But I think Fred Warner, he's definitely been the best defensive player that we've had over the last 3 to 4 years. He's been a leader. I think Fred Warner's on his way. On offense, or you got Trent Williams. I think he could be a Hall of Fame player. Alex Mack, maybe. Kittle, of course, George Kittle. George Kittle is definitely on his way. As long as he can stay healthy and continue producing, which I think he can, he's definitely on his way to be a Hall of Famer. And I think that's it. So I think Kittle, Trent Williams, maybe Alex Mack, and Fred Warner. I think those are the players who have a great chance to get to the Hall of Fame. Corey Davis, in response to his question about what position he would play in the NFL, he said defensive back. All right. Shanti Uber says Hall of Famers. LOL. That's like Jay says, the player that is going to Canton is Trent Williams. Yeah, no doubt. No, Trent Williams, he's definitely been an excellent left tackle. You know, he got drafted in the first round, pretty high in the draft by the Washington football team. And yeah, Trent Williams has definitely been one of the best left tackles since he's been drafted in the league for sure. I'm definitely glad we signed Trent Williams back to solidify the left side of that offensive line. Looks like Jay says Trent Williams Hall of Fame case is locked because he is an 8-time Pro Bowler. Wow, yeah, that is pretty amazing. That is amazing. Trent Williams, 8-time Pro Bowler. He's been very durable during his NFL career. Looking over the games he's played, so he had a possible 134 games, and he's played. Oh no, that's the total games he's played. So yeah, he's been very durable during his career. He's always played double-digit games. And yeah, I can't wait to see him for years to come in the red and gold, Jay. Let's see. G-Rod says, is it me or does it seem like Kelsey gets more play and catches versus Kittle? Now, one thing for sure, I think Pat Mahomes looks for Travis Kelsey a lot. I think that's for sure. Travis Kelsey, I mean, let's look at Travis Kelsey. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champion. In 2020, this was Travis Kelsey's stats, and he's 31 years old. He had 145 targets. Travis Kelsey. He had 105 catches, 1,416 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So, yeah, Travis Kelsey, no doubt he's a beast. And his last 5 seasons, Travis Kelsey has had over 1,000 yards receiving. So, yeah, there's no doubt. But I think Pat Mahomes looks for Kelsey more, I think. Because Kelsey, ever since 2016, Kelsey has had at least 117 targets. I don't know if George Kittle has that. And with Kelsey, honestly, he's been healthier throughout his career. Kelsey has basically played over the since 2015. Travis Kelsey has played in at least 15 games every year since 2015. And unfortunately, Kittle can't say that. And if you look at Kittle's targets, yeah, unfortunately, it's no comparison. If you look at Kittle's targets, in 2018, he had 136 targets. 2019, he had 107. And then last year, he only had 63 because he was hurt. So, yeah. I appreciate you coming through, KD. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, man. I appreciate you. Hopefully, you enjoyed the stream. But thanks for coming through, checking out Jay in the Bay. Jay says, we won the Trent Williams trade. Thank you, Ron Rivera, for letting us get Trent Williams. He's the best left tackle in football ever. Yeah, there's no doubt. He's definitely one of the best to ever do it in the last decade. And, we only had to give up a few draft picks to get Trent Williams, and that trade definitely worked out. I appreciate the kind words, KD. I'll see you in the next stream. Looks like Shanti says Niners last year was hurting on the right side of the O-line. Yeah. And I think that's definitely why the O-line was addressed in the draft by getting Aaron Banks, the Bay Area kid from Notre Dame, the right guard. He's going to compete with Brunskill and also McGlinchey. I think McGlinchey should bounce back. He's in a contract year. I would be surprised if McGlinchey is with us next year because I'm sure McGlinchey wants to get paid like a top 5 right tackle. I don't think he's going to take a hometown discount to stay with the Niners. So he's got to put on great film. He's got to have basically the best year of his career. McGlinchey has to have this year. It's like Jay says, Washington football team ruined Trent Williams. Trent Williams is a Niner for life. I think so for the rest of his career. Yeah. They definitely had a falling out when Trent Williams was with Washington. G-Rod says, but I don't like that Kelsey is so arrogant, loud, and cocky. Well, I mean, he backs it up, right? I mean, I enjoy the passion he plays with. Yeah, he's a little arrogant. He likes to hot dog a little bit, but he can back it up. I mean, some people would say the same thing about Kittle when he does his celebration, after he gets a catch. Some people don't like that. So I just say if you can back it up, hey, I don't mind. Jamie says they have speed to open up the middle for that's great point. Yeah. They got, Tyreek Hill, fastest player in the NFL. If you're a defense, you don't want to get beat over the top. You don't want to get beat deep. So you're gonna, put a corner and obviously a safety over the top of Tyreek Hill because you don't want him to run past you. And in doing so, it allows Kittle to go over the middle. And Kittle's a beast. There's no doubt. Kittle's a beast. Or excuse me. Kittle is a beast, of course, but Kelsey is a beast too. He knows how to get open. He's been great. He's definitely a Hall of Fame player, Travis Kelsey. And he's proven it over the last few seasons. He's a great tight end. Looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, John J. He says, sup, Jay, you can't compare a passing tight end versus an all-purpose tight end. Well, yeah, there's no doubt. The Niners asked Kittle to block. They asked him to be a presence in the running game. And, the Chiefs, they asked Travis Kelsey to block, but not to the extent that Kittle blocks. There's no doubt Kittle is the best all-purpose tight end in the NFL. But there's no doubt the Chiefs offense, they feature Kelsey more. That's just the bottom line. Pat Mahomes, he throws to Travis Kelsey at a higher rate than Jimmy throws to Kittle, And if Kittle was in the Chiefs offense, I'm sure he'd be as productive. And what Kelsey has over Kittle is health. He's been able to stay healthy majority of his career. Travis Kelsey, there's really no debate in that. 49ers First Take says we need to do a post-game show during the season, Jay. We'll see, man. We'll see. I definitely love to collab with you again, 49ers First Take. But we'll see. We'll see, because on my stream, I plan on doing, a pregame stream, post-game. So maybe during the week, though. We could always collab during the week. Let's say if the Niners have a game on Sunday, we could always collab on that Monday or that Tuesday, like what we learned from the game, what do we take away from the game, and also looking forward to the next weekend's opponent. Definitely down to do that. So yeah, we definitely got to collab in the future. Bryce's Sports and Plushes, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How you doing today on this Sunday? Let's see. Jay says George Kittle is the best tight end ever, taking back that throne this season. I appreciate your enthusiasm. There's no doubt George Kittle, he is one of the best tight ends to ever do it in a 49er uniform. There's no doubt about that. If I would have Vernon Davis or George Kittle, I'll probably take Kittle. Yeah, I'll probably take Kittle, but there's no doubt Vernon Davis was good in a 49er uniform. I just love the passion and energy that Kittle plays with. But unfortunately, sometimes that could be a downside because Kittle has had trouble staying healthy because he likes to play 110%, which you love and you respect, but then, he gets hurt. So he gets nicked up. So let's see. G-Rod says, do you plan on going to any games? Probably not this year. I don't think so because I really want to watch the game from home, be able to interact on YouTube with all the faithful, with all the Niner Empire. And if I went to a game, I wouldn't really be able to do that. So, but I love watching the game at home, taking notes, and I want to interact with everyone on YouTube. So I plan on doing like a pregame, the day of the game, post game, right after the game, and both of those will be live, so y'all can hear my thoughts, and then of course I can hear what you guys think because we all have different opinions. That's what's beautiful, and we can respect that. But at the end of the day, we all want the Niners to win and be successful. 49ers 02 report says, Jay in the Bay, you're my boy, but you always do a great stream, but you're wrong in the tight end debate. I mean, numbers are numbers. But honestly, there really is no comparison. Like if we're talking about who is the best tight end over the last decade, if we're talking about just strictly numbers, Travis Kelce, there's no debate. There really is no debate. If we're talking strictly stats, there's no debate. Travis Kelce has been one of the most productive tight ends in the NFL. He's a future Hall of Famer. And that's no diss to Kittle. That really is no diss to Kittle. Kittle, he's only been in the league, 4 seasons, right? Kittle has been in the league 10 years. Obviously, I probably would rather have Kittle on my team than Kelce. There's no doubt. If we're just talking strictly stats, Kelce has been the more productive tight end. Now, when you say, well, they feature Kelce more, or Kelce has a better supporting cast around him, or Kelce has a better quarterback, yeah, there's no doubt. But if we're just talking strictly stats, Kelce has had a better career, and that's no diss to Kittle. Or to any other tight end. Stats are stats. Let's see. 49ers first take says, I forgot we all got our own channels. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. But I'm definitely down during the week of a game. We can definitely collab for sure during the week of a game. That's right. J Miles says, why did we ever trade Charles Haley? Yeah, Charles Haley was an interesting personality that the 49ers could not handle. So I think that's why they decided to get rid of Charles Haley, because there's no doubt he was very productive with the Niners, but it just seemed like he was a personality that the 49ers couldn't handle. So, and Jay says that was the worst trade in our history. Yeah, no, I would agree. I don't think we ever should have got rid of Terrell Owens. Jeff Garcia was a pretty good quarterback, didn't have much playoff success. I don't think we should have got rid of Jeff Garcia. But yeah, that's definitely a trade that will always stand out. 49ers first take says Haley was a mental case and hated Steve Young. He loved Joe Montana. Yeah, so that doesn't bode well for team chemistry. you know. It looks like Jay says, please come back to Forrest Buckner. And that was another one, man. Traded to Forrest Buckner and keeping Armstead. Yeah, that was another trade where, I'm happy we got Kinlaw, but I guess that's water under the bridge now. Can't really do nothing about it. But we get to see the good old Indianapolis Colts prime time Sunday night football week 7. The 49ers will be coming off of a bye week, and DeForest Buckner, I believe that game is in Santa Clara, and DeForest Buckner comes back to the Bay Area, so that'll be a interesting game. That's definitely going to be a interesting matchup for our offensive line going up against the Colts and DeForest Buckner. JH Sports, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Keep putting up that content on your channel, man. I enjoy what you're doing, man. I appreciate you coming through. JH says he's going to SF this summer. All right, man. Enjoy the weather. Check out San Francisco. It's a beautiful city, man. 49ers Ultimate Report says, much respect, man. We all have our own opinion. I will say Kittle is the best. Call me a homer. And I respect that. You know, I love Kittle. I love the way he plays. But yeah, you got every right to say that Kittle is the best, man. Good luck to your Bears, JH Sports. Hopefully you guys got your future franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. And, good luck to your Bears this year. JH Sports says, where do you think the 49ers will land in the NFC West? I think we could be the number 1 or number 2 seed, honestly. We are in the toughest division in the NFC West with the Niners, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks. I think every team will probably have a winning record. I can see the Niners going 12-5, and maybe the Rams or the Seahawks being 12-5 or 13-4. I could see that happening. But yeah, I think we should definitely contend in the NFC West for sure. It's like Jay says, Terrell Owens was a Niner for life. I wish he would have played with the Niners his whole career. Man, that would have been nice. But unfortunately, that just didn't come to fruition. Yeah, I wish T.O. would have stayed with the Niners, his whole career. But, that didn't happen. Let's see. 49ers First Take says Kittle has a potential to be the GOAT, but he has to stay healthy. Yeah, I love the way Kittle plays. There's no doubt. Once he gets ahead of steam, he's definitely a mover and a groover, faithful. Once Kittle gets in the open field, he's got the ball in his hands. He's hard to take down. The first defender never takes Kittle down. I love the way he plays. But like 49ers First Take says, man, he got to stay healthy, So G-Rod says, we are loaded with high-end talent, but the big question lies, can we stay healthy through the season and play at the high level throughout to get to the big game? And that's a great question. And I feel like sometimes that's our biggest opponent is just the injuries. If we didn't get all those injuries last year, I think we still would have been a playoff team. But, injuries are a part of the game. It's a physical game. It's a contact sport. Injuries are just going to happen. But I think Lynch did an excellent job in, adding depth to the team. So hopefully we'll be more equipped to deal with that if that happens this year. Let's see. Jay says George Kittle is the best tight end in the NFL. Kelsey has good talent. Okay, I respect your opinion. Let's see. JH Sports is offering us his NFC West predictions. Yeah, I can see that. I can see the Rams being number 1, 13-4, Niners being second, Seahawks third. Yeah, I definitely don't think the Cardinals will be winning the division. They haven't made the playoffs yet under Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. But yeah, I think it's going to be close like that. I think teams will be decided by 1 or 2 games, but I think the Rams, Niners, and Seahawks, have the better overall teams over the Cardinals, including like the coaching staff, GM, and all that good stuff. Jay says Trent Williams is on pace to be a 10-time Pro Bowler. I think he can do it within these next 2 years. He'll get the Pro Bowl this year and the Pro Bowl the following year. I think he can definitely do it. Yep. Yeah. Jay, Trent only needs 2 more Pro Bowl selections to get to that 10-time Pro Bowler, and he's definitely on his way to Canton, Ohio. That's for sure. I appreciate everyone coming through. I feel like these 2 hours flew by. And let's see. Jay says then he will be a 10-time Pro Bowler. Exactly. Jay Sports says you can make an argument for any team to win the NFC West besides the Cardinals. I agree. I'm non-biased. I look at things objectively, faithful. And yeah, I think any team besides the Cardinals could win the division. I think And it's only because, the Cardinals have improved, but they have yet to make the playoffs. So it's kind of like prove me wrong, right? Or prove me you can actually make the playoffs, Cardinals. Obviously, the other three teams have made the playoffs, been to the Super Bowl, so they have to prove it first. Jay Sports says, "Yo, Jay in the Bay, what's your second favorite NFL team?" I don't have no second NFL team. J.A. Sports, it's all about the Niners. It's all about the red and gold. You see the hat, faithful to the Bay. You see the background. You see the Brandon Ayuk shirt. It's only Niners, red and gold. That's it. Number one team. Can I say it any clearer, J.A. Sports? It's only the Niners, man. Only the Niners. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says, I don't do predictions, but I will say number one, Rams 12-5, Niners second 11-6, Seahawks 10-7, Cardinals 8-9. Yeah, I can see that. I just think it's going to be very close. It's going to be a dogfight. The last month of the season will determine a lot in the NFC West because I think the teams will be so close. And, the Niners play the Rams week 18, last game of the season in good old SoFi Stadium. We got to fly down to SoCal and play the Rams. That game could determine who wins the division. So Jay Sports says Jay Nebedo got a second favorite. He loyal to the 49ers. Exactly. Jay in the Bay is loyal to the faithful, the Niner Empire. I don't have any room to have a second favorite NFL team. No way, JH. No way. 49ers Ultimate Report says his second favorite team is the LA Chargers because my brother was a Marine and I went to see a lot of Chargers games. I respect that. And the Chargers will be an interesting team this year, with Justin Herbert. They got the big right tackle, I believe Slater out of Northwestern. So, yeah, Chargers and the Chiefs, they'll definitely be competing in that AFC West for sure. Let's see. I agree, JH Sports. Week 18 could decide, the NFC West. So, yeah, but I appreciate everyone coming through. Let me know if you have any other questions, comments. This 2 hours definitely flew by. I'm looking forward to next week, June 30th, State of the Franchise. I can't wait for that. Should be a lot of interesting news about the Niners. After that, there won't be much news. Let's see. There'll be the training camp last week of July. But between the State of Franchise and training camp, there won't be much going on. But, hopefully John Lynch will make some signings. That would be nice to see. We can always add more talent, especially since we're playing 17 games this year. Let's see. Jay says, at JH Sports Facts, we're going to win. We're going to be a good team this year in the NFC West. I agree. JH Sports says, why do you like the 49ers? Well, I'm from the Bay. And my earliest memory, the Raiders were in LA and the Niners, they were the only team in the Bay Area. Excuse me. The Niners were the only team in the Bay Area at that time. And I just gravitated toward the Niners. I really loved the red and gold colors. My earliest memory of the Niners, unfortunately, I did not see the Niners win the Super Bowl in like 94, 95. My earliest memory is really of when T.O., he had the catch 2 against the Packers in the playoff game. That's when I really started like watching football and I really gravitated toward the Niners. So that's why I'm a Niner fan, man. Let's see. 49ers First Take says no second favorite, but I definitely root for my brothers Dolphins to do good unless we play them. Yeah, the Dolphins will be interesting to see this year because of Tua. Can Tua live up to the hype, man? That's the thing with the Dolphins. Can Tua live up to the hype? Yeah, I went to 49ers Ultra Report says, did you ever go to a game in Candlestick? So I went to a game against the Washington football team. My buddy, he's a Washington football team fan. This was probably maybe in the late 2000s, so maybe between 2005 and 2010. We probably went to that game. And I went to a few Candlestick games when I was younger, but honestly, I don't really remember, but I see pictures from it. But yeah, that was the most recent game I went to in Candlestick, was like in the mid 2000s. And I have been to Levi Stadium. I've been there a few times, and I can't wait to go back. Probably not this year, but maybe the following year. Jay says at Jay Sports, because we had so much legends. We had Joe Cool, aka Joe Montana. We had Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Steve Young. Yeah, that's definitely the legends of the 49ers, no doubt. That I feel like those are the Mount Rushmore players for the 49ers that Jay just mentioned. Montana, Rice, Lott, and Steve Young. Those are probably the Mount Rushmore players for the 49ers. Unless unless you wanted to put, you probably would have to put Bill Walsh there, right? So if Bill Walsh is there, then you probably take out Steve Young. So if you had Bill Walsh on Mount Rushmore, you had Montana, Rice, and Lott. I probably would do that because Bill Walsh definitely made an impact on this franchise with multiple Super Bowl victories. So yeah, Jay Sports. Yeah, I live in the Bay, so yeah, I do have an opportunity to go to games, but they are kind of pricey at brand new Levi Stadium. But yeah, maybe next year I'll go to a game. And Jay says, yes, yep, he will. Trent Williams will be a 10-time Pro Bowler as a 49er. That's right. CG Ruthless, what's good? Thanks for coming back, man. Let's see. 49ers First Take says, I've been a fan since 89, but never have been to a game. Yeah, you got to make it. You got to fly out here, First Takes, and come to a game at Levi Stadium. That'd be nice. A game I'm looking forward to. I can't wait till the 49ers play the Raiders in Vegas. I definitely want to go to the Raiders' brand new stadium in Sin City, Las Vegas. I can't wait to do that. I love Vegas. I love going to Vegas and then be able to go to a game in a brand new stadium like that. I can't wait for that. 49ers Ultimate Report says he went to over 100 plus SF Giants games and 10 plus 49ers games in Candlestick. Still mad the 49ers left. Yeah, I don't understand why they left. I mean, I don't know. But, I guess the city of San Francisco, maybe they didn't want to give the Niners, as much money as Santa Clara did. I don't know. But I definitely wish the Niners would have stayed in the city for sure because they could have tore down Candlestick and built something new right there. But that just makes too much sense. That's probably why it didn't happen. Looks like CG says, Ultimate Report, I've been to Candlestick Park. Also, the vibe is great. I agree. And Jay says, yep, one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. No doubt. No doubt about that. Jay Sports says, Justin Fields will be a 50-time Pro Bowler. That's funny. Yeah, hopefully you guys got your franchise quarterback. I mean, you guys have been in disarray at that position ever since, Cutler left. And even with Cutler, I mean, at least with Cutler, you guys went to the playoffs. But, hopefully Fields will be that impact player for you guys. It's like CG says he's been to Candlestick and Levi's. All right. And Jay, yeah, I definitely agree with you about Bill Walsh for sure. CG says Jed York was a cheapskate. A lot of these owners, they want to use the city's funds, to build the stadium, which, from an owner's perspective, yeah, you want to try to pay as least amount of your own money to build it. I understand that, but the city of San Francisco, had bigger fish to fry. They weren't gonna, give up that money. But what do you know? What can you do, right? Let's see. G-Rod says, anyone going down to SoFi for Super Bowl festivities, I will be there. And hopefully to see our Niners do interviews. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang. That would be nice, right? SoFi Stadium. I've never been there, but I've seen the pictures. Beautiful stadium. And that would be dope. If the 49ers get to the Super Bowl this year and, we can win it on the LA Rams turf. That would be nice. Jay says Trey Lance would be a 51-time Pro Bowler. Let's see. 49ers Ultra Report coming in with the facts. He says Candlestick was never owned by the 49ers or the NFL. It was owned by the city of San Francisco. Yeah, because the Giants and Niners both played there. So that would definitely make sense. But yeah. Jay says, bring back Eddie DeBartolo. I've heard that before. JH, I appreciate you coming through the stream, JH. You're always welcome back. And keep putting up that great content, man. Looks like JH says, JH says Fields is better than Lance. Well, that remains to be seen, JH. I guess we'll see because we play your good old Chi-Town Bears. I think we have to go to Chicago to play your Chi-Town Bears. So, we'll see. We'll see what Justin Fields is all about. We'll see if he'll be starting by then or if it'll be Andy Dalton. Yeah, looks like CG Ruthless doesn't agree with that either, JH. Oh, man. And Jay says both of them are great. Okay, I can agree with that. Looks like CG says, I know someone who is a diehard Rams fan who got tickets to SoFi. All right. Yeah, SoFi is a beautiful stadium. Looks like G-Rod says he wishes we would have built a dome stadium. That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder why they didn't. I don't know. I don't know what really goes into that. Like, what are the benefits of having a dome stadium versus not having one? Like, because I know at Levi Stadium they like to do a lot of concerts and things like that. So yeah, I wonder why they didn't build a dome stadium. I don't know. And I appreciate everyone coming through to the stream. I just wanted to hop on for a little bit. Looks like I got a few more comments. Hold on. Let's see. 49ers First Take says, I remember when we won the Super Bowl 29, 49 and 26. I was a freshman in high school. Can't believe it's been 26 years. Yeah, it's been way too long. Way too long. I haven't seen the 49ers win a Super Bowl. That's crazy. So since I've been a fan. It's like 49ers Ultimate Report says, my job, city organization owns it, and I visit the stadium during the off season. Okay. Are you talking about Candlestick? Let me know. Jay says one day SoFi will be owned by the Niners. That would be dope. We win the Super Bowl in the LA Rams Stadium. That would be dope. That's a very good point, CG. From a football standpoint, the dome has no terrible winds or raining. I mean, you pretty much have a perfect playing surface. You have a perfect playing weather. You don't have to worry about that. So yeah, I'm not sure why Niners didn't build a dome. CG Ruthless says, I was a toddler when the 49ers won their fifth Super Bowl. Yeah, so I think I was, let's see, I was probably 7 when the Niners won the Super Bowl, and I wasn't even watching football then. I was too worried about cartoons and playing toys and stuff. That's like 49ers Ultimate Report says yes. Okay. Jay says we will win the Super Bowl in SoFi and bring home number 6. I can dig it, man. It's great to be optimistic. I think Jimmy G can do that. I think Jimmy G can lead us to the next Super Bowl. I ain't gonna lie either, too. CG, yeah. When I was younger, I ain't gonna lie. When I was younger, I loved wrestling too. I love watching the WWF. Then went to WWE, and I love, like, my favorite wrestlers were probably, like, of course, The Rock. You had Stone Cold. And of course, you had Mankind, Dude Love. I forgot his other alter ego, but yeah. And of course, like the Undertaker and all that. And then I think once I started getting in more into football, I kind of stopped watching wrestling as much. Especially when after The Rock left, just wasn't the same. But yeah, no doubt, The Rock was probably definitely my favorite. Like, I love his promos, his sayings, and things like that. So, and look at The Rock now, like he's a movie star. Let's see. CG says, I still do to this day. Wrestling is my other sports. I dig it. Yeah, I respect it. Unfortunately, yeah, wrestling right now, it just doesn't hold my interest anymore. So, but yeah. Let's see. Jay says people hate Jimmy G for no reason at all. Jimmy gonna prove the haters wrong. Nah, yeah, they hate Jimmy. They say because he's a turnover machine and he can't stay healthy. That's why they be hating on my quarterback, Jimmy G. G-Rod says, why not throw a top on the stadium? We paid them enough for the tickets, team paraphernalia, and food. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't because the Minnesota Vikings or you know what they could do? They have a retractable roof now. The Vikings have a enclosed stadium. I believe it can open. The Falcons as well. Like the LA Rams, I believe, is retractable. So yeah, they could have had a retractable roof. I'm not sure why they didn't go for that model. The Cowboys as well. Like, yeah, I don't know why. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says, Jay, you still support Jimmy G? Haha, just joking. Of course you do. Of course, I got to support Jimmy G. That's my quarterback. Man, I know 49ers Ultimate Report, you want Jimmy G to start the season week 1. I know you're not ready for Trey Lance, the Trey Lance journey to begin. CG says, Ultimate Report, we're not benching a $27 million quarterback. Exactly, right? There's no way. No way. I just don't see that happening. And then Jay says, we won the Super Bowl. Feels great, baby. Jimmy G. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, hopefully that comes to fruition, man. That would be a great problem to have. Jimmy G wins us a Super Bowl. And then, I think obviously we would trade Jimmy G to the highest bidder in the offseason, and then we would start the trade area. We would start that. Osby Sports, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Osby. You're doing a hell of a job at your channel, man. I appreciate what you're doing. You keep me updated. I always see your feed in the morning. You talking about the games. I think there's a basketball game on right now too. I think so. So yeah. Thanks for coming through, Osby. 49ers Ultimate Report says he's not a Jimmy G guy, but Jimmy better prove me wrong. I can respect that. Jimmy G, he got a lot to prove this year. He has a chance to, put good film out there that he can still be a reliable starting quarterback and stay healthy. I think if he stays healthy, I think he'll be the best quarterback for us going forward for sure. But hopefully Jimmy G will prove everyone wrong. I know Jay is definitely in Jimmy G's corner. He definitely wants Jimmy. He thinks Jimmy G will prove everyone wrong. I think so as well. CG says, tone down the hype. Let's see us get healthy 1 week at a time. I agree with you, man. Jay says, trade area. Oh, man. I appreciate everyone coming through. But I think it might be about that time. I think it's about that time to head out. I will definitely be doing another live stream after the state of the franchise for the 49ers. The state of the franchise is Wednesday. I'll most likely be doing a stream on that Thursday. And I appreciate everyone coming through. I appreciate everyone leaving a like for the video. And if you haven't, make sure you already subscribe to your boy, Jay in the Bay. Also follow me. You see it on IG and Twitter. I appreciate it. Let's see. CG says, keeping it real, I want the 49ers to be healthy and competitive. I agree as well. I appreciate the kind thoughts, Jay. And I'll see you in the next one. And once again, this is your boy, Jay in the Bay. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Most likely it'll be Thursday, and we'll talk about what we learned from the 49ers state of the franchise. And then following that, it'll be training camp. So I appreciate everyone coming through. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there.